friends, so let's talk. And I want to talk about burnout because I recently got a couple of DMs from our fellow RBTs asking for tips on preventing burnout. And I'm noticing that it is a common thing, that we go through or that we can potentially face. Now, let me say this. I know when you come to my page, you are looking to get a good laugh. You are looking to escape from the chaotic worlds that we work in. But friends, I want you to know that I also care about your mental health too. And I am not a psychiatrist, a psychologist. I'm just another RBT who has faced homelessness, who has faced addictions. So I think I know a thing or two about overcoming something. And I've gone through some things, tried some things. So maybe I can help, with a tip or two on preventing burnout or becoming burnout proof. Now, my first tip that I have is first you have to find out your why, and which means you have to find out what your purpose is. And I know that may sound cliche. You probably have heard that 1,000 times. But when I tell you it was vital in my recovery, it was vital in me just restarting, finding out my why, because it put things into perspective. It gave things clarity, and it made me grounded. So I'm telling you, when you find out your why, you can better have control on how close you get to becoming burnt out. But there's a scripture that I want to draw some reference from. It's Ephesians 2:10. And I may not know it verbatim, but basically it says that God chose us to do his handiwork. And through Jesus Christ, we are chosen to do his good works. And basically we were already predestined. We were planned to do what we are doing. I may not be saying it verbatimly, but I'm telling you, I'm basically telling you what the verse is saying. And when you listen to that verse, or even when you go back and read it, it's Ephesians 2:10. Ask yourself these two questions. Do you believe that you're doing a good work? Do you believe that the work you are doing, God chose you to do that work? To help you navigate that better, a quick example, I had a client that was nonverbal. The BCBA he was assigned to believed that he wouldn't speak. And I'm against that type of language. I don't care if the child is showing signs or not. We don't know what God can do. We don't know what God can do today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now. We just don't know. So I would never speak that kind of language over anybody. But the professional, the behavior analyst that she was, she not once, she a few times made this statement. Each time it boiled my blood. But what she didn't know, this RBT here is a praying RBT, So I immediately got down on my knees and I just asked God, just started praying, pleading the blood over him. Like, Father, he is going to talk. We rebuke anything that comes against it in your name. And to make a long story short, she later left the clinic that I was at with the client. Now, me and the RBT the other RBT that he was assigned to, that shook us so that we began to just pour so much. We were already pouring into him. But when she said that, the first time she said it, it's just like we just started pouring so much more into him, to the point that that client we became his clinic mommy and daddy. Like, that was our child. That's the kind of love, that's the kind of nurturing, that's what we poured into this client. And when I tell y'all, the client may not was able to form full sentences, but he was able to imitate sounds. He was able to at least imitate certain words. He was able to form syllables. That small victory alone was all I needed. And in this field, those small victories give you a reward that no money can give you. To see my client go from speaking nothing and from somebody licensed to tell him that he would have speak nothing to at that point being able to say cock-a-doodle-doo and being able to say moo and clearly hear what is coming out of his mouth, for him to be able to say one syllable words, for him to be able to even form a syllable. That was the victory. That was the satisfaction. That was the reward I needed, that if I never got paid for it, I was all right. And that's how I found out what my why was. That's when I found out my purpose. That's when I found out why I belong in this field, why God created me to be an RBT. And now I'm saying this to tell you, now I need you to go find out your why. Your why may be helping support families. It may be helping to change lives. It may be to be the only person that your client can rely on. It may be being the only person that anybody can depend on. But whatever that why is, it has to give you a reward, a feeling that no money can give you. That if you was asked to do it without money, and I said loosely, but if you was asked to do it for free, the reward itself would be satisfying enough for you. So friends, I truly hope that helped. Like I say, I'm not an expert, but this is something that I use. This is a tool that I use, a step that I use, and I know it to work. I know it to be, I know it to work, you know. So now it's up to you to go out and find your why. And remember, God says that we are God says that we are his handiwork, chosen to do his good works. So friends, I hope this tip can stir something in you, and I hope this tip can help you live burnout proof. I love y'all.